guys, welcome back to another episode of Sister Sister, a podcast for spiritual baddies. We are your hosts, Ellen and Maya, and hope you are all doing well.
Hello, everyone. So, today's episode is all about dressing as your Venus sign.
So, as you may have seen on TikTok, there's dressing like your moon sign, dressing like your rising sign, dressing as this, or wearing makeup like that. But I think it's important to dress like your Venus sign. And Elle can explain why.
So, Venus, you know, basically what it represents in astrology and what it rules is love, relationships, and what we are looking for in a partner. So, pretty much romance, everything of that kind of thing. And it also reveals like our love signature and how we present what kind of love we want to the world. But also beyond relationships, Venus is also about beauties, femininity, money, and really just kind of like anything you want to create in your life, whether that is another life or it's a business or whatever it may be. Um, so from a astrologer, which we quoted, this is from L.com, Natasha Weber. Basically, it's about the value of any material things. Also, depending on the house that your Venus is in, will kind of push you one way or another for what you're going to be like drawn to specifically with your Venus sign. But we aren't talking about houses today. We're only going to be talking about the signs that Venus is in. And Venus is also linked to pretty much anything that has to do with like your heart's desire. That's kind of the overall like emphasis is anything that has to do with your heart's desire and also how you're able to connect with other people, especially romantic interests. So, dressing as your Venus sign is kind of a big deal because it's basically a way to attract everything you want in your life and also to kind of be showing up as like what would be considered the best version of yourself for like material worldly reasons and bringing the most beauty out in yourself. So where'd this trend come from? I know we said it was from TikTok, but let's talk a little bit about it, Amaya.
Yes, so when you're talking about dressing as your Venus sign, it's basically your, how should I phrase this? Um, it's your aesthetic, but like as you know, the sun sign is your most authentic self. Your rising sign might be the surface level self that other people encounter you as when they first meet you. And your moon sign is your most emotional self. And they're all important to your personal style. But Venus, dressing yourself as your Venus sign, is aligning yourself with your aesthetic instead of the sun, moon, or rising sign, and it helps you gravitate towards the styles that give you the most pleasure when you wear them.
So how do we find our Venus sign? If you know how to find your birth chart, you'll find your Venus sign. But just for anyone who may be tuning in and doesn't really know how to find this, um, Venus is going to be the planet that is closer to the sun. So it's usually not going to be more than two signs away from what your sun sign is. And you can figure this out by going to any free online birth chart calculator. I personally like Cafe Astrology or AstroSeek. Those are my two favorites. I steer clear of things like what is
Co-star.
yep, co-star. That thank you, Amaya.
Okay. Don't
Um,
use that. If you We'll say this, it's not that you can't use it. I mean, it will give you the placements that you're born as if you put your stuff correctly, like your birth date, time, whatever. But it's not really the most accurate in other ways. We'll leave it at that. Do your own research, but like Elle said, cafe astrology is the best, it's the easiest to use. And I've done it on my family members, on my boyfriend, and I kind of just like to constantly refer back to it for even my own chart because I'm always learning new things about astrology.
yeah, the nice thing with Cafe Astrology too is you can actually switch on there in between having like the full circle view like natal chart and then just like the listed birth chart as well. And if you aren't familiar with reading the full circle chart, you can also see what degree and stuff is in, like your different signs for different planets on the actual just like chart version of it. Whereas a lot of them will just tell you like the planet and the sign. They won't give you like the other information, which is super helpful if you're trying to get like deeper into your own astrology. So let's start with Venus in Aries. Aries is a trendsetter when it comes to fashion. No surprise there, Aries. So, a lot of things that you may find with them and how they would be dressing is the color red is going to be super powerful for an Aries Venus. Things that will draw the eye immediately. Some other popular items an Aries Venus may consider in their closet are things like leather jackets and boots, things like statement hats, statement jewelry, and then also some themes of sportwear throughout their wardrobe, but not to be confused with like athleisure wear, more like biker sportwear or like racing sportwear with like those leather themes. And then something else we want to talk about if you're like have this Venus sign and are trying to take like inspiration, we're going to say some famous people who also have the Venus sign. So, some famous people with the Aries Venus is Lily Allen, Lady Gaga, Gigi Hadid, Jennifer Aniston, Sarah Jessica Parker, Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, and Elizabeth Taylor. And that's just to name a few. There's a ton of people that have an Aries Venus.
So up next in the sign is Taurus Venus, and Taurus, the sign, is ruled by Venus herself. But I would like to take a moment to stop right here and say that for the sake of this podcast, we will mainly be referring to all the signs as female. Obviously, if you are a male, non-binary, or identify as another use the word or verb, um, just keep that in mind when you're listening to us with this podcast. But anyway,
Oh yeah, and if you guys want to have a part two that is more like gender neutral or more masculine leaning, we can definitely do that. Venus just typically tends to be a more feminine sign, and a lot of these
yes,
themes can also be taken over into other forms of clothing, whether it be male or if you're someone who identifies anywhere else on the gender spectrum. There's a lot of similar themes. It just, you're not going to be wearing like frilly dresses and things like that whenever you are of a different gender.
right. So for the sake of this podcast episode, we're mainly doing female. And also please note that certain signs are considered feminine and others are considered masculine, which we will go on about in a later date. But anywho, not to take away. So Taurus is mostly classic but luxury. Um, think of like old money summer in the Hamptons, and they're likely to look best in florals, pinks, and greens as accents on neutral outfits. They also consider comfort as an important factor, so they may even lean into a coastal grandma style aesthetic as well. Some famous Taurus Venuses include Liv Tyler, Johnny Depp, Prince and Princess Diana, Kanye West, Ariana Grande, and Lana Del Rey.
I feel like Ariana Grande is a very good depiction of Taurus Venus style.
Oh, absolutely. Like her whole aesthetic for a very long time was like the nice, cute little half ponytails, the frilly dresses. Yeah, she's definitely the epitome of Taurus Venus.
Next, we have Gemini Venus, and we're just going through all the signs. I don't think we said that, but we are just going through all the signs. Gemini Venus style is going to be filled with a lot of bold colors and lots of sparkle, things like sequins and rhinestones. Basically, anything that would attract a crow is key to a Gemini Venus look. Gemini Venus may also get bored wearing the same thing over and over, so you'll likely see them gravitating towards like the newest trends and picking up some things that are like more out there and like trendy that you wouldn't typically see just like someone that goes out to the grocery store every day wearing. And some famous Gemini Venus are Margot Robbie, Cher, Jennifer Lopez, Bette Davis, Sandra Bullock, Uma Thurman, Courtney Love, Venus Williams, Heidi Klum, Jessica Simpson, Megan Fox, Adele, David Beckham, and Naomi Campbell. And as far as like epitome of this, Cher. Cher is the epitome of this.
Okay, up next is Cancer Venus. So, as you know, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and they are going to mostly lean towards softer hues of pinks and lilacs, as well as silver and white. When I think of Cancer, I do think of pastels, so this totally makes sense. So, when you think of Cancer Venuses, think of old Hollywood when, where they, were flowy satin clothing, or they use pearls to accent their outfit, or wear dainty silver jewelry. As you know, Cancers are more emotional when it comes to choosing a piece of clothing, so you may see them searching in vintage shops to find a story behind an item. Oh, and also, famous Cancer Venuses: Zendaya, Cameron Diaz, Natalie Portman, Liz Hurley, Halle Berry, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Angelina Jolie, Meryl Streep, Mary-Kate Olsen, Ashley Olsen, Anna Friel, Jerry Halliwell, and Stevie Nicks. That's quite a few.
Yeah, some of them there were definitely, like, a lot more than others whenever I just, like, typed it into Google to see what famous people had it, so I tried to put, like, as many as I could, so it's Leo Venus is next. Also, what is your Venus sign, Amaya?
I am a Capricorn Venus, which I'm very excited to go over that in a little. So, what's yours?
I'm a Libra Venus, and I personally don't think that I 100% fit the style currently of what I wear as, like, what I should be dressing like according to the dressing as your Venus sign trend. So
Oh, can't wait to hear it.
so anyways, Leo Venus, they love to be the center of attention. We know that about Leo, they're ruled by the sun. So they always want to be show-stopping yet classy, and you can expect, because they're ruled by the sun, lots of yellows, oranges, and gold accents. Leo Venus also loves the idea of some like sexiness that animal prints would bring out in them, maybe a tight cheetah dress or an unbuttoned tiger striped shirt for men. Their clothing often shows their investment in themselves with having a higher end label and price tag. And some famous Leo Venuses are Madonna, Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, Gwyneth Paltrow, Whitney Houston, Pamela Anderson, Lindsay Lohan, 50 Cent, Dita Von Teese, Selena Gomez, and Amy Winehouse.
It's kind of interesting because I didn't expect Selena Gomez to be a Leo Venus, but it kind of does make sense. I feel like she's a more subtle Leo Venus. Like there's certain outfits where she does pop off, and I'm like, wow, like that's the bold Selena Gomez. But there's a lot of times where I feel like she's like more. I feel like she more could be a Cancer Venus, and she's also a Leo Sun. Her birthday just passed at the time of us recording this episode, so I could see it. But yeah,
Yeah, I also
uh,
think that, on that note too, I wonder if celebrity stylists take into account astrological charts or if, like, celebrities ask them to take into account their astrological chart with outfits that they're picking. Because it seems like, a lot of these famous people we're mentioning are, like, the epitome of their Venus sign with how they dress.
right, absolutely. I think if I were a celebrity, I would because I would always like want to look my absolute best. But that's just me. Anywho, next is Virgo Venus. So Virgo Venus is the poster child for clean girl aesthetic. That's totally true, but anyway. Focusing on earth tone neutrals, grays, and whites, minimalist is the best case scenario for Virgo Venuses. They are ruled by Mercury, so they are logical and the practical Venus sign. You may also see a Virgo Venus with going towards a slight bohemian side, but it's not fully coastal grandma like Taurus Venus. Yet there's still some dainty florals in their wardrobe and some vintage pieces. Virgo Venuses tend to be a more eco-friendly shopper and always checks the thrift store first. That's totally accurate. I can say L, since you're a Virgo sun, you tend to go to the thrift store all the time. But I think that um this is totally on point for a Virgo Venus. Anywho, famous Virgo Venuses include Alexa Chung, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Bella Hadid, Julia Roberts, Kate Winslet, Charlize Theron, Bridget Bardot, Sophia Loren, John Lennon, Gwen Stefani, Simon Cowell, and Demi Lovato.
And I think that's really interesting that both Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner are Virgo Venuses. I feel like it makes a lot of
Right?
sense.
Oh yeah, I can see it more on Kylie Jenner than I can see on Kim Kardashian, but that's just me.
Okay, Libra Venus. This is me, allegedly. Libra Venus tends to be one of the trendiest of the Venus signs while maintaining a very feminine look. They can be found in baby blues and shades of pink most of the time. Libra Venus loves a good outfit and tend to put a lot of time and energy into their outfits, especially for a special occasion. Whatever is currently trending is usually what you'll see a Libra Venus wearing. Some famous Libra Venuses are Rita Hayworth, Grace Kelly, Beyonce, Claudia Schiffer, Freddie Mercury, Florence Welch, Romeo Beckham, Lord, Sierra, and BB Rexa.
So if I'm analyzing you as someone looking in from the outside, I can definitely say that you are on trend with a lot of the clothes, but I don't see you wearing a lot of baby blues or pinks. Um,
I
I
definitely gravitate more towards darker colors
neutrals.
and neutrals. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're definitely wearing the whatever the trend is. Like I will say that, but I think you have your own aesthetic where you add a little bit of grunge into it and neutrality. But yeah. Anywho, Venus and Scorpio. So Scorpio Venuses tend to be a little more on the risque side when choosing an outfit and will pick out items that give mysterious and sexy vibes. Their closets are often comprised of leather, latex, and lace, the three L's. They're usually more on the alternative side of the fashion spectrum and will pick up items from small boutiques that you're not going to find anywhere else. Famous Scorpio Venuses: Sydney Sweeney, Winona Ryder, Alicia Silverstone, Katie Holmes, Anne Hathaway, Chloe Sevigny. I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry, girl. Jane Birkin, Annie Lennox, Nelly Furtado, Avril Lavigne, Gianni Versace, Chrissy Teigen, Marianne Faithfull, Nicole Richie, and Doja Cat. Yeah, that entire list is so accurate, to be
Especially
honest.
like
Like,
I Doja Cat was one of the last ones to pop up and I was like, she has
right.
to be on there.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I love Doja Cat. So, yeah.
So, Venus in Sagittarius. Sagittarius Venus will often push boundaries when it comes to fashion, wearing clashing patterns and colors, leaving you wondering how they are able to pull it off. However, on a boring day of errands, they're likely to be following an athleisure style aesthetic with an oversized tee and some leggings. And some famous Venus in Sagittarius are Kendall Jenner, David Bowie, Tina Turner, Christina Aguilera, Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, Rita Ora, Kelly Osbourne, Emma Bunton, and Donna Summer.
Of this list, I'm definitely not surprised by Katy Perry or Nicki Minaj because they tend to be really out there with their outfits.
Or David Bowie.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
That man was
and
like
it's
wild.
oh, absolutely. But Nicki Minaj, especially because she's a Sagittarius sun, so that's a lot of Sagittarius for her big four. Crazy. Anywho, Venus in Capricorn, which is me. So Venus in Capricorn is going to go for the power suit, the outfits that exude I'm in charge the moment they enter the room. Their model may be dressed for the job you want, not the job you have. Like Leo Venus, they know the value of appearance and will be dressing to their best any chance they get because it's an investment in themselves. Famous Capricorn Venuses include Brad Pitt, Britney Spears, Scarlett Johansson, Tyra Banks, Dolly Parton, Robbie Williams, Miley Cyrus, January Jones, Lucy Liu, Justin Timberlake, Adam Brody, Kate Bosworth, and Elvis Presley. I can totally, I totally agree because I'm always dressing for success. Like, especially when it's like special occasions where I have to like dress up, like, I'm eating. Like,
Yeah, like even when we were in college and like we had presentations where we had to dress up for, you were like,
I was always on it.
yeah.
Honestly, something my mom always instilled in me is always dress like you're gonna meet somebody really important when you go out there. So I'm very used to like when there's this important date or important something that I have to take care of, I make sure that I look my best. Also, I have to say Charles also has a Capricorn Venus, excuse me. And I will say like he's gotten better at taking care of his appearance, especially because I'm his girlfriend. But when he does like dress up, like he is very like on it. And I've also helped him as well because guys are different than girls. So but yeah, I think I can totally relate to my own Venus.
So next is Venus and Aquarius. While Libra and Venus follows trends, it's Aquarius Venus individuals who are setting them. Aquarius is often said to be the oddball of the zodiac, but when it comes to Venus and Aquarius, this tends to work in their favor as they aren't afraid to try something that no one else is wearing. They usually like to mix vintage pieces with pieces that are sensible but different from smaller boutique shops. Some famous Venus and Aquariuses are Kate Moss, Taylor Swift, Paris Hilton, Olivia Wilde, Yoko Ono, I think I said that right, Elton John, Kate Middleton, Timothy Chalamet, Patsy Kensit, Sienna Miller, Pete Daughtry, Harry Styles, and Beth Ditto. This makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
totally, especially with Harry Styles. It's
I was
like,
just gonna say Harry Styles 100%. And Timothy Chalamet. He wears some like
yeah,
very different things when he's on like
I
red
love that.
carpets and stuff.
I love that man. I think he's hilarious. But anyway, last but not least, Venus and Pisces. They are the daydreamer of the zodiac, so it's no wonder that Venus and Pisces people look best when they're wearing flowy dresses, puffy sleeves, and overall outfits that are giving romance novels. You often see them wearing blues and greens with some light purples thrown in the mix. Some of the famous Venus and Pisces people include Victoria Beckham, Drew Barrymore, Kristen Stewart, Reese Witherspoon, Kirsten Dunst, Kate Hudson, Emma Watson, Kurt Cobain, Michelle Obama, Kourtney Kardashian, Kelly Clarkson, and Emma Roberts. This list is kind of questionable for me, only because when I think of Kristen Stewart, I just think Twilight, so I think grunge, vampires, and yeah. Michelle Obama also surprising because I'm really used to her just wearing suits and like
But also,
dresses
if
all.
she wasn't a first lady, is that what she would wear?
Probably not, but I also see her as just someone that's really like powerful, so I kind of expected her to be more a Capricorn Pisces. But again, we don't know how they dress in their everyday life, so who
Yeah,
knows?
I definitely think if it's like Drew Barrymore though.
Oh, absolutely. Drew Barrymore is definitely top. And maybe definitely Emma Roberts too. Kourtney Kardashian is another one, but like I said, it's really dependent on what they're feeling at the moment. But needless to say, to wrap up this segment, we believe that you should always be true to who you are, wear what you want, but maybe your Venus sign aesthetic is what you already gravitate towards, or if you want to amp up your closet, get some new statement pieces, maybe look to your Venus sign to figure out what maybe you can be elevating in your wardrobe. Anyway, now time to move on to our astrology almanac with L. Astrology almanac with L.
Today, Mars and Gemini will square with Saturn and Pisces, creating a lack of discipline in your life. You may find it increasingly difficult to get into your workflow today. Tomorrow, the moon will move into Aquarius and conjunct with Pluto, which will urge you that this is a time to transform your life and take back your power. On Sunday, the 18th, the Sun in Leo will conjunct with Mercury in Leo, urging you that it's time to take action on plans you've had and work hard on these projects for the next 2 months. On the 19th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. You may crave more independence and can push against anyone or anything you feel is boxing you in. Then on the 22nd, Virgo season is officially here, my season. This is a time to work, focus, and tend to the details. This may not kick in until after Mercury goes direct, and at that point, you can start to get things done, get organized, and be practical.
Now, to wrap up the show, let's do my favorite segment known as Tarot Time. Tarot Time, Tarot Time. Here we are for Tarot Time.
Excuse me. I didn't even ask what the collective needs to hear, and one's already trying to fly out.
Spirit said, take this one. Take it now.
The Eight of Wands in the reverse. I think this is very, very much so aligned with our Mars and Gemini being square with Saturn and Pisces because this means slow movement. This means feeling stuck where you currently are at, lacking in being able to move forward in your life and get things done. Kind of a time of stagnancy. I would say that this is definitely also because of the Mercury retrograde that is going to be happening during this period. So definitely just, take things as they come and don't feel like you're falling behind because a lot of things are out of your own control.
We bid you farewell and hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to follow us and like and subscribe on YouTube as well as TikTok and Instagram. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.